Hey, this is Brian.
And Shelby.
And you're listening to the Hyperspace
PodBlast. Aren't you a little short for a podcast?
Huh? And here we are, back again for more Hyperspace PodBlast.
Hey, guys.
What's up?
We're doing Hyperspace PodBlast number 10, Seeing Red in Star Wars.
Yes. What does red mean? What did it mean? What will it mean? Who knows?
Someone knows.
Yeah, not us, but we're going to try to figure it out. I think you can say with some degree of certainty that red is going to feature prominently in The Last Jedi. They put the logo, or, whatever you want to call it, the title, in red. Everyone freaked out, So we're either just grasping at straws or there's something to it. But, if you look at the teaser poster, especially with red figuring extremely prominently there, and then even in the little things from the trailer, you have the red dust. There's a lot of fire, which is red, explosive fire, and what we're assuming is the ex-Jedi temple burning down. But yeah, red is featured prominently going forward. But before that, let's talk about how it was featured going backward. So starting at the start. That's good.
Everything gets wavy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Wayne's World style. So original trilogy, I think it's hard to argue that things were obviously more black and white back then. Speaking
red
of
and
other
not
colors, red. Yeah. But I think it's easy to say red was indicative of evil, or at least the bad side of things, because you had the Imperial Guards, you had Sith lightsabers that were red. Really the only positive red would be Red Squadron, and that's really only a name. They still wore orange like everyone else. And there was some red on the fighters, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Not enough to make any difference, I don't think.
I think it was, maybe it was just important in the original trilogy for them to say red means bad guy / blue-green means good guy. Yeah,
and that was definitely something that carried on through whatever legend stuff. Red was, especially with lightsabers, and it's still that way. Red means bad. Even Kylo's crappy lightsaber.
Do you really feel that the reason that it's red is because of, well, I guess it's probably both, being a dark side user as well as it being damaged?
Yeah, we don't know what... And,
maybe...
What it was. Is it... Whose is it? No one knows. That would be,
You think it had a previous owner?
I think so, yeah. I think that's why it's cracked. I think he snatched it from another lightsaber.
Okay.
Yeah. I read a theory somewhere that it's actually from Luke's green lightsaber. Wouldn't that be interesting? I know, right? But yeah, I don't think he did the old-fashioned go find your crystal thing. I think that's something borrowed, so to speak.
Something borrowed and something
red.
I don't know, but I also wonder, though, if it turned red maybe also because it was damaged, Yeah, it could. It could be a combination of both.
Well,
or
because of the way kyber crystals bleed, or whatever it is now, I suppose physical damage as well as damage through, being used. Yeah, there's a good word. Manipulated by the dark side. That both of those things could cause it to bleed. I keep using air quotes, even though it's technically canon. It just feels weird.
Well, it would be an interesting idea that, say, he may have gone chasing after this crystal and it was damaged and he used it and it's red and it's like, oh, I must be of the dark side.
You think that's what gave him?
No, I just wouldn't that be an interesting thing?
Oh, crap. I was going to be a good guy, but now I can't.
Oh, what does this mean? I guess I'm bad.
Oh, jeez. Grandpa was right. I am bad. Shucks.
I don't actually think this, but I just think it would be funny.
It would. What would be really interesting to me is, like, if he makes a new lightsaber and it comes out and it's not red. And he's like, oh, no, I'm not good. Be red. He's all like, starts slashing stuff, and it's like, okay, fine, I can't handle this emo kid, and just turns red.
I imagine Hux teasing him about the color of his lightsaber.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, what's up, Greenie? Shut up, Hux. Oh, I hate you.
Anyway.
Yeah, where were we? The original trilogy, red mostly bad. From there in the prequels, it's kind of mixed.
I guess so. Yeah, maybe.
You have definite bad again with the red lightsabers, and with Maul is half red.
He's so cool looking still. I just
straight. Yeah, it was a good design. It was unfortunately got cut in half and then weirdly brought back, but that's another show.
Well, you also have Padme.
True.
Who, I mean, her iconic red attire, you could say that's a show of power, of being, queen.
True, yeah, red is, I think, especially not in Western culture, where I think probably Lucas drew most of his inspiration, aside from the whole, what do I want to say, samurai aspect of the Jedi, the whole good and evil sort of space Western thing is very Western culture. But the royalty, just basically the way the queen dresses, even when it's not Padme, it is very almost like geisha inspired, really, with the face paint and stuff. So that might be a nod to Eastern culture, where red is more of a good luck, revered color than the...
And if you know more about that, if you're listening and you know more about that heritage and that culture, please let us know. We'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Or
Anyway.
just tweet at us and tell us we're dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. So yeah, we have that, and then moving forward from there, you have the clones. I think it's the ARC troopers have the red, and I mean, I'm rolling my eyes here, but technically, I guess the clones are bad-ish. I mean, they're good until they're not. It's a weird, when you've got the bad guy fighting the bad guy, like, who's the good guy in the war? But anyway, yeah, it's not quite as cut and dry, I don't think.
Yeah. So looking at instances of red in Rogue One and The Force Awakens and how that differs.
Yeah, and this is where we really depart, especially in Rogue One.
Right. I know that whenever I watched Rogue One, the very first time, I saw the flash of red whenever you see Lyra speaking to Jen.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it was about that, but it was just like, that seems significant to me. Immediately, that seemed significant.
Yeah,
because of how it stands out so much in the background. Of,
and how drab the rest of all their attire is. Like Galen and Jen and everything else that Lyra's wearing. It's all very like dark and earth tones and very sad looking, really. And then you have this, like you said, very much a pop of red, and it's what, Sash of the Enlightened, I think that's what it says. It's in the visual dictionary, which I don't have right here. I would look, but I think that's right. It doesn't really give you any more information than that, but I would say that it ties in with what we see later in on Jeddah, with all the pilgrims and their red attire out the wazoo.
And then you see Chirrut.
True, also. And I mean, Baze, too. Baze is basically all red.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason it stuck out to me was that it was in the lower portion of the body whenever you see it with Chirrut as well. And I was like, is there some sort of connection?
Right, yeah. Their
between him and Lyra
are definitely more similar and not accidentally. You know what I mean? I don't think
it just doesn't. Yeah.
We really like this design. Let's put it on Lyra too. you know? I don't think that's what happened. But I think that too, back to what we said about the whole Eastern versus Western culture thing, because I think you can easily draw ties to Jeddah and like that little market they go through and stuff to like
any sort of market.
Yeah, it reminds me of, we watch a lot of what's Andrew Zimmern's show?
He has a couple.
Yeah, it's not Delicious Destinations, but the other one.
Bizarre.
There you go, Bizarre Foods. Yeah, and there's one where I'm pretty sure he goes through a crowded market street in somewhere in India, and it just put those people in red and they're on Jeddah. Like, so that really reminded me of, it's not like walking through a farmer's market in New York. You know what I mean? It's definitely tied into an Eastern influence.
Yes.
So,
and you see that stuff and you think, okay, these aren't bad people.
No, not at all.
Wearing this red, and it's so prominent.
Mm-hmm.
So it obviously has some sort of tie to those who also believe or used to believe, in Baze's case, the Force.
Yeah, true.
So I feel like there's some sort of connection there. And then with the Force Awakens,
there really isn't.
You don't see a lot of red in general, other
No.
than Kylo's.
Yeah, just the lightsaber. The Force Awakens
Oh, wait,
plays a lot more.
There's the trim of Phasma's cape.
Oh, true. And the First Order in general, actually. They have all their banners are red and all that stuff when Hux is making. And Hux's hair is red, so.
I guess that counts. I don't know.
General Ginger.
I mean, I feel like you don't see it as much in The Force Awakens. But
yeah, they're playing a lot more with light and dark
yeah.
than they are with color.
But it was amazing to see how much color was used in Rogue One.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, and especially red, like what we're saying here, it's odd to see it so prominent and not given that negative connotation, really. Which kind of leads into what they're doing with The Last Jedi, with all this saturation of red and the whole idea of, the Force being it's
balanced.
Well, and it's so much more. It's not just this red versus blue/green. It's a whole
/ purple.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different story. That's
Sorry.
That's Samuel L. Jackson getting his way, basically.
Blue and red.
I know. That's
purple.
what I'm saying. Is his lightsaber like half bleeding? What's going on here?
Snook.
Snook. Yeah, I mean, we did see him at celebration.
We're
so
not Mace
clearly,
Windu, Snook.
No, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he said.
Is that what he said?
Yeah,
okay.
It's confirmed. It's all but.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's on Wikipedia. If not, I'm gonna do it after the recordings. No, not really. Maybe no, actually not really.
No. But the poster is all this red, and everyone's saying, "Oh, dark side," and I just
yeah. But what? Well, what if red just means the Force now? Like I would say that's what Rogue One taught us. That red is indicative of the Force. Though then you do have the Force Awakens and Lor San Tekka's people that didn't really feature red. I think if they had a color, it was mostly blue. But I mean, it was dark. You couldn't really see. But there was definitely an opportunity to
show that.
Yeah, to add red.
Maybe we just didn't see the people who were supposed to be wearing red, like the leaders. I don't know.
I don't know. But there's.
It seems prominent in Force religions specifically.
Right.
Is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and the majority of them anyway, because Lor San Tekka's people are Church of the Force or something like that. I guess they just didn't buy in on the red, but they do seem to be more like Jedi centric.
Yeah.
Sort of. I don't know if worshippers is the right, because that would be kind of weird if they worship the Jedi. But it did seem
they
like
hold the Jedi in high regard. As
right. Well,
those who use the Force responsibly, maybe,
or that they just like their values type thing. So they weren't so much of a Force religion as a like Jedi groupies. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. I just imagine like all these like girls on
wearing
Coruscant.
Mace Windu t-shirts.
And like the gag of like where all the girls are chasing someone, they have to hide and
like an old monkeys show.
Yes.
Where there's a hallway with 6 doors and they keep coming in and out.
Yeah.
Eventually the people being chased end up chasing.
That's
kind of like
that's
running
what
down the
happened
hallway in A New Hope.
I'm just picturing that happening with Hayden Christensen at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, and the person chasing him is a lightsaber. The person dressed up as a lightsaber. Or every person you took an awkward photo with that wants their money back.
Yeah.
Which would be basically everyone. Poor guy. Fish out of water.
I mean, I want an awkward family photo always with just about anybody.
True. It's a timeless memento.
It is.
Or
so
something.
Force religions. Back to Force religions.
So tying the whole Rogue One idea of the Force-centric pilgrimage people that aren't tied to the Jedi necessarily. I mean, obviously they had statues of the Jedi on Jeddah, and it's basically called Jeddah. So there's tie-ins there that we're not aware of, but obviously red, Force go together. And then you see in the poster, in the background, you have the 2, let's say, prominent Force users in the saga right now, both covered in red.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean they're both bad? At first blush, Maybe.
Blush.
Yeah, oh, geez, I didn't even do that on purpose. I'm so good at puns, it just happens. Yeah, so anyway, maybe not. Maybe it's just showing this is the Force. They're both part of the Force. The Force is the color red now. So these are the two people that are part of the Force. And then you have Rey in the middle, splitting them up, sort of balancing the two sides.
Mm-hmm. I think that is important to think about because to me personally, when you think about Anakin, he uses the dark side for a good reason in
for
his
what
mind.
he thinks he's a good what he thinks is
what
a
he
good
thinks
reason.
is a good reason. And I feel like it's not out of malice, and it's not. I mean, it's completely selfish. It's just
it's 100%
it's selfish, but it's just because he doesn't want to lose the person that he loves the most.
Right.
So
or
I feel
anyone
like
else, really. I mean, it's just
I feel
it's
like
from I think Rogue Planet is the novel where, I mean, it's not canon anymore, but Obi-Wan says everything the boy loves is taken away or something like that. And that, I think, in one line sums up Anakin. And he gets to the point where he's like, I will not let this happen again. And then by doing so, over tightens that grip.
I feel like we need a sound of a cannon every time we say cannon. And it just goes... Cannon. This is canon. And then you hear something like a firecracker when it's not.
Or like a firework that fizzles, like a dud. Yeah.
I don't know, it turned into Pac-Man. But
yeah, it did. Pac-Man just died for some reason. Yep, there it is.
But the point I'm trying to make is I feel like sometimes we confuse anger and hate with passion. And I feel like a lot of what the dark side users are doing is it's pure passion.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes passion can be good and sometimes passion can be bad.
It's passion twisted into, because the mantra
it's because of the selfish aspect.
And it's always, I can feel your anger, use your hate. They're taking that passion because, that's why you hear things like love, hate, it's almost oddly like that's the Force is like that.
Although
what I mean?
I'm not a subscriber to love, hate being opposite. I'm like love indifference.
Well,
so that's why I feel like that red is not completely just bad guy when it comes to the Force. Love and hate aren't opposite sides of the coin.
True, but to have enough passion to love, you also have the ability to hate is kind of what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. They're not polar opposites, but they are sort of entwined. You can't hate something that you don't feel passionate about.
Yes.
Like, I like music. I hate country music. Sorry, fans, if you like country music. My bad. You do you, whatever.
Mind your biscuits.
And everything will be gravy, or whatever that stupid song. Ugh.
I hope that's not your favorite song if you're listening.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sorry. No, I'm not sorry. It's not very good.
Your favorite song for many reasons. But anyway, my weird point being, there's I can't think of something that I'm indifferent about. The color of carpet. I can't hate a certain color of carpet because I literally don't care what color the carpet is. But
so that's a yes on the purple carpet.
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay.
I really
I'm just kidding.
Pink.
I don't want any.
Do it. I'm calling your bluff. Let's see it.
It's a bluff. It's absolutely a bluff.
But I like music in general, so that gives me the ability to hate music I don't like. I think, if that makes any sense. Maybe that's grasping. I don't know. But yeah, the point is that the Sith, anyway, we don't know about the dark side in general, because I don't feel like Snoke works this way, because he never, and it's been a little while since I saw The Force Awakens, so I might be overstepping here, but I don't remember him saying,
hate,
use your hate or use your anger. Like, they just kind of have a conversation. There's no real sort of training going on, though, so maybe we'll see that in The Last Jedi, where it turns out that he's
fueling some sort of deep emotional stuff. And I feel like Kylo has so much emotion, more that I don't think we've seen.
Obviously.
We haven't. The only other person we've seen with so much emotion behind their using the dark side is Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
And the only person that, other than say maybe Rey, we'll see more of that in the next movie, but the only person who you've seen a lot of emotion attached to their use of the light side is Luke. And, I feel like,
the reason Luke won is because of his love for this father that he didn't even, that his only connection with was him trying to kill him on multiple occasions.
Well, do you think that it is possible, this is a little out there.
Here we go.
Do you think it's possible to have a red lightsaber and use the dark side, but not be malicious?
I don't know. I mean, you're getting into that
Can you tap into
terrible gray Jedi territory.
we're not going to talk about that.
It's 'cause it's
Can
dumb.
you get into, say, tapping into your inner passion? Because, I mean, do you really feel like all Jedi exist and not have a single ounce of hate in their body? I think that's what they were trained to do.
Yeah,
to let go of any sort of
well, yeah.
negative emotion.
Well, any sort of emotion at all. And I think that's why,
that's why they failed.
come back, well, that too, but back to what I said before, is you can't really love without hate or vice versa. You have to have that passion to feel one way or the other about something. And they tried to completely drain that out of them and make them like automatons, really, that are just like Stepford wives or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think if you integrate that, if you teach someone to use their passion and their hate in a positive way and their anger in a positive way, maybe it doesn't even turn the lightsaber red.
Maybe that doesn't mean the dark side though. Maybe you can still
tap into that passion and use that power.
Yeah, like we really don't know. I mean, like Han says, that's not how the Force works. Well, we're finding out we don't even really know how the Force works as we get further along here.
Maz's comments makes me feel like we don't know.
Well, that, I mean, then you have the Bendu, and then you have all these other Force traditions that are piling on, and it's...
I feel like we have only scratched the surface with Jedi and Sith. Like, that is just a very small part, I'm starting to think.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, if we're making this religious connection, that's like Protestant and Catholic, right?
Mm-hmm. Think of all the other...
Well, like, there's probably hundreds if you count, like, everything, but there's at least half a dozen major religions that isn't even...
Yeah, it'd be interesting to compare that to, say the symbolism of red in, like, real-world religions. That'd be interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're thinking about this, I'm trying to think, do you think that Kylo could be powerful in a way of using both the dark and light side of the Force at the same time?
Yeah, see, no, I think that's what
maybe
that's
what
we're
stepping I think that's what we're stepping into. And
that's
I think
what he's looking for, that Swiss Army knife Force user. Like, he's got it all.
And maybe that's what Rey is becoming on the other side. So,
True.
like, he's leaning more this way and she's leaning a little bit more that way, but they're both
going down the same path, just
a more central path.
One of them took the nice sunny road, and one of them took that gnarly tree dark road.
Yeah, the fork. But
yeah,
I almost think that we're getting into opening a huge box that is gonna have so many more options of what we can do in Star Wars in future stuff as well. I think that we're gonna see either stuff in the future of whatever produces from this. I think we're gonna see maybe it tie into ancient traditions, opening up to that and showing that it wasn't always just Jedi. Showing that this balance existed before that and it got twisted somehow into being completely, like you said, emotionless and
it's
unfeeling.
Like, it's one of those things where I'm sure they kept changing the game, and then eventually it's like, oh, we done screwed up. They basically had their extinction event, you know what I mean? And the Jedi should have ended, maybe, with the purge, but they didn't. And Luke tries to do what Yoda told him to do, and it blows up in his face
again. So I think maybe he's come to
he's taking the hint, he's like, all right, Force, I got you. No more Jedi, no more Sith. We're just gonna do our thing.
We're just gonna use the Force.
We're gonna take this magical power and use it for good, but we're not gonna try to
keep it so structured.
Put a bunch of rules on it.
Yeah,
I dig that. And like what you were saying before, it goes back to what we mentioned in the television episode, where the reason that we're casting such a small net with what we have now is because I think it's what you said. We're gonna move this Force tradition stuff forward, and then we're gonna reach way back and show like, oh hey, this is how it used to be too. So that's why we haven't really touched on the Old Republic and
because it's
cool
part
stuff.
I think it ties into all of this.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Rad.
So if you have any ideas of
and we know you do, you're all so smart.
Yeah, of what you really truly think that red means in the Star Wars universe, please let us know on the Twitter at hyperspace_pod, or shoot us an email if you'd like to come on and talk more about Red or anything else. hyperspacepodblast@gmail.com.
That's us.
And that's all we have for you today.
It is.
We are working on our Triple F.
Yeah.
Just to give you a
Speaking
reminder.
of, we now have another word from our sponsor after we say goodbye. So, goodbye!
Bye, guys.
See ya! Hey, have you ever thought to yourself, I'd like to talk about Star Wars and something else I like?
Well, now you can. Our new Blastcast, Rapid Fire Fandom Fridays, gives you a platform to discuss Star Wars and whatever distracts you from Star Wars that you probably moderately enjoy. Things like Rick and Morty, hockey, romance novels, or even building dioramas using smartly dressed dead mice.
The interviews are around 5 minutes and include questions like, if you could take one person from blank and put them in a Star Wars film show, who would it be and where would you put them?
If you are now saying, wow, this sounds like the answer to all my hopes and dreams, send us a DM on Twitter today to @hyperspace_pod or an email to hyperspacepodblast@gmail.com.
We look forward to hearing from you!